no place like the Q.
Coming across your airwaves, dance with me. It's an intersection all day. And it's gonna bring you the weekly.
Family, is the news overwhelming? Is it just too much? Well, I get you, and I got you.
Yeah.
Family, this is your favorite queer radio personality, Anna Deshawn, and this is Queer News, your favorite weekly news pod where race and sexuality meet politics, culture, and entertainment. This is your number one stop for queer news done right, only on E3 Radio.
Hello?
Hi, is this Jim?
Yes, it is, Mr. President.
Jim, I figured when I saw you that we were going to be hoping for some good news, and we did. And I just wanted to say congratulations.
Thank you so much, sir. I think it was your wishes.
Your leadership on this, has changed the country.
I really appreciate that, Mr. President. It's really been an honor for me to be involved in this fight and to have been able to, fight for my marriage and live up to my commitments to my husband. So I appreciate everything you've done for the LGBT community, and it's really an honor to have become part of that fight.
Well, I'm really proud of you, and just know that not only have you been a great example for people, but you're also going to bring about a lasting change in this country, and it's pretty rare where that happens. So I couldn't be prouder of you and your husband, and God bless you.
Thank you, sir. That means an incredible amount to me, and yeah, thank you.
All right. Take care.
Thanks for the call, Mr. President.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That family was the sound of history. 11 years ago, the Supreme Court voted 5-4 in the landmark case of Obergefell versus Hodges. Obama called Jim Obergefell to personally congratulate him on a victory that led to the legalization of gay marriage in the United States. As we close out Pride Month, let's remember the past and use it as a guide as we continue to progress into the future. What a moment we will never forget, huh? Now, have you joined our Substack yet? I'm just asking for a friend, because this has been a tough year, y'all. Ad dollars have completely depleted. Health dollars have completely depleted. And so I made the pivot. I made another big old leap of faith, because that's what must be done if you want to survive out here in these podcasting streets, okay? And I don't only want to survive, I want to thrive doing what I love to do and what I'm good at. Now, our Substack won't just be me either. I plan on translating our contributors' work here on the pod to the Substack as well. Our first contributor was last week, yes, Ty Ballard, and her piece titled Michelle Obama, Transphobia and the Cost of Policing Womanhood. And if you haven't read it yet, what are you waiting on? Come on now. And this is, of course, written in response to that UFC heavyweight fights that took place on the White House lawn, and that UFC fighter Josh, who during that post-interview fight, he said that Michelle Obama was a man. And then he said, "Am I right, America?" And people cheered. Child, Ty wrote about it, okay? I want y'all to take a listen to what she had to say about that moment and how it impacted her.
When I first saw the video, what stood out to me wasn't just the cruelty of the comment, but what it revealed about the culture that allows these attacks to persist, especially when they're happening on White House grounds. And even though it's not surprising, it still was disturbing to me nonetheless. And so for years, we've watched people question Michelle Obama's womanhood. I even remember hearing these attacks when I was a child and being confused by the level of disrespect directed at a woman that I actually looked up to. And we've seen similar attacks as I've gotten older aimed at women like Serena Williams and Brittany Griner, women whose bodies or identities don't necessarily fit the narrow expectations of femininity. And at the same time, transgender women face many of these same forms of scrutiny, dehumanization, and of course leads to violence. And we've lost a lot of sisters because of it. And So both of these issues are connected. The attack on Michelle Obama only works if people believe being perceived as transgender is something shameful, that it's a punchline. And when we treat womanhood as something that can be judged, verified, or even revoked by strangers, nobody is safe from that scrutiny. Transmissia doesn't just harm transgender people, but it creates a culture where all women, especially Black women and women who exist outside of Eurocentric beauty standards, we can have our identities questioned.
Thanks, Ty. And family, you'll definitely want to check this out on the Substack, okay? queernewspod.substack.com. It's real simple. It's in the show notes, but I'm just going to tell you again in case you never go back to the show notes. It's queernewspod.substack.com. Come on and join the movement. QCrew. Y'all are the movement. You are actively helping to sustain this work. I can never, ever, 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 ever. I don't know where it came from, but just know I can never say thank you enough. Now, if you aren't part of the QCrew, why not? Why not? Because if you believe in the work we do, if you're listening to this podcast, and you believe LGBTQ stories need to be amplified, not to mention, you might just love and respect how I report on the news and tell our stories, come on and join the QCrew. It's only $5 a month for now. Come on now. A link is in the show notes. Now for the news. Our top story covers Governor JB Pritzker as he signs 3 new bills protecting LGBTQ rights here in Illinois moments before the Pride Parade. I was there. It was quite a moment, okay? Let me tell you all about it. In politics, a federal judge blocks the DOJ from accessing the medical records of patients seeking gender-affirming care. In sports, 3 Giants players protested their own Pride Night. And let me just tell y'all, that angered Major League Baseball. In culture and entertainment, Chicago officials break ground on the Elise Malary Pedestrian Plaza. And we got to talk about the BET Awards just a little bit. Let's get into it. I feel like this is our Happy Pride episode, okay? It's the last time I get to say Happy Pride this month. And this episode, all these stories are giving, okay? So for our top news story, just minutes before the Pride Parade kicked off in Chicago, Governor JB Pritzker showed his support to the LGBTQ plus community by signing not 1, not 2, but 3 House bills that offer additional protections to the community. Let's listen in to the moment before the governor signed the bills.
About is the fact that Illinois truly does step up and protect our LGBTQ plus. And we're not going to stop. And of course, we do something that is unusual, but I think should be national, and that is we teach in our schools about LGBTQ history. So I'm proud today that I get to sign 3 important bills, and I'm going to look at this piece of paper because I don't get the numbers ready. But I'm going to start with HB 5095. That's preserving gender markers on IDs. HB 5492. That expands access to hormone therapy. And HB 4834, and that's protecting patient privacy.
I really genuinely hope you can feel the energy in your ears from that moment. So many queer folks who advocate and fight on our behalf, legislators, community activists, all in that room for this moment right before the Pride Parade kicked off. I mean, it was right on the parade route. The energy was so high. I really wish I could bottle it up, just bottle it up and use it all year round whenever I needed it because it was so palpable. Now, let me give you a rundown of the 3 bills that were signed. Okay, first up, HB 4834, which means absolutely nothing to none of us. So let me tell you what it's about. It removes testosterone from the Illinois Prescription Monitoring Program. That's right. There is this program. For short, it's called ILPMP, okay? Now, in addition to testosterone, the bill also prevents the addition of estrogen, as well as 2 drugs that suppress the hormones needed to maintain a pregnancy. Now, the ILPMP is a digital database, okay? It collects, tracks, and stores reported dispensing data for controlled substances, selected drugs of interest, and other health information. It's mainly for health providers. This is why it sounds so foreign to people like me, okay? As the database, it stores a 12-month history of your prescriptions. With the way the DOJ, though, has been moving by prescribing subpoenas left and right to hospitals providing gender-affirming care across the country, the removal of testosterone from the ILPMP and the prevention of adding estrogen and those 2 drugs that, prevent you from maintaining a pregnancy, it protects patients' privacy and their medical data from further investigation by any curious party, aka the Trump administration. Okay? I love this. HB 5095. Now, that bill enshrines the self-selection process for gender markers on state IDs and driver's licenses remains confidential. That means that the Secretary of State may not disclose or reveal the existence of any gender designation form unless directed to do so by an order of a court of competent jurisdiction, meaning the Trump administration or anyone like them could not come into the state of Illinois and find out if your gender marker used to be X, Y, or Z, and not without a court order, okay? From a competent, they put competent jurisdiction. We also love this bill, okay? Now, the third bill is HB 5492. Now, this one requires insurance companies to cover up to 6 months of prescribed hormone therapy. The bill refers to prescribed hormone therapy as, quote, drugs approved by the United States Food and Drug Administration that are used to medically suppress, increase, or replace hormones that the body is not providing at intended levels and the necessary supplies for self-administration. Now, the key word in all of that I just said, though, is approved. People should continue to monitor which drugs are and aren't approved by the FDA because we know who is in control of the FDA right now. And as with any other government institution under the Trump era, okay, because things continue to shift, which makes all of this just so exhausting for our trans siblings. Equality Illinois CEO Shannon Lynn Parker, who hosted the reception where these signings took place, of course she was in attendance at the bill signing, and she had the following to say in a statement. LGBTQ plus people in Illinois are under no illusions about what is at stake right now. Across the country, lawmakers are attempting to strip rights, erase identities, and target our most vulnerable community members. But here in Illinois, we are fighting back and winning. Today, Illinois answers those attacks with action. One bill preserves gender markers on state IDs. Another bill expands access to hormone therapy. And a third bill shields our most private medical information from surveillance. These are not small victories. They are a declaration that in this state, LGBTQ plus lives matter. Today, we are not just marching. Our governor is signing laws that protect who we are. Now, let's be clear about when these go into place, okay? HB 4834, that's the one that shields our most private medical information from surveillance. That's going into effect immediately. Right now, today, that is real. While the other 2 bills are going to go into effect starting January 1st, 2027. Family, this is how politics and legislation works. Oftentimes, it's hard for us to think about what else can we do to protect ourselves in a state. This is why we have those whose minds are wrapped into this world, who know exactly what needs to happen in this moment. Marriage equality, right? We celebrate 11 years at the top of the show. That was not the end all be all. Marriage is not everybody's goal, right? But our goals should be being able to live lives where our humanity is fully respected. And these are the types of bills and legislation that allows that to happen here in the state of Illinois. And may it be a precedent for other states to follow. I love this for us. Sure do. And we keeping the wins going, okay? Because this is our Happy Pride episode, and we're going to keep that going, especially in politics, yes? Yes, because we deserve. And I want y'all to know the good things that are happening. Bad news travels real fast. Real fast. But good news is hard to find. And let me tell you, it's happening. It's happening. We just don't know about it. And we started local, but let's move out. Let's talk federally. A judge has blocked the DOJ from accessing the medical records of patients seeking gender-affirming care. If that headline sounds familiar, that's probably because the DOJ has been blocked not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5 times, not 6 times, not 7 times, but this is the 8th time the DOJ has been blocked by federal judges for similar requests. The DOJ defends their administrative subpoenas, saying that the investigations are linked to possible drug misbranding. But Lambda Legal is fighting on our behalf. And federal judges across the nation are calling BS because we know that's exactly what it is. U.S. District Judge Catherine Polk Fila issued the temporary block that prohibits the DOJ from requesting the private medical records through administrative subpoenas or a grand jury. The judge ruled that NYU Langone, who we've been talking a lot about, yes, the hospital in New York, is also prohibited from turning over any medical records to the DOJ. The patients protected most by this new block are, quote, people who receive treatment for gender dysphoria while younger than 18 at New York City healthcare institutions, including NYU Langone and Mount Sinai Health System from January 1, 2020 through May 5th of 2026, end quote. This is a huge win. Right now, in the city of Chicago, in the state of Illinois, we have an affirming mayor and affirming governor. Yes, and we still only have one hospital providing gender-affirming care to young people under 18. And there's only one provider. Because people are fearful of the Trump administration and these types of subpoenas. There is great fear of being on his radar and other funding being pulled from your hospital because you are not complying. This is how fascism works. And so these wins that are happening in the courts against the DOJ, they matter because they should give states like Illinois the courage to tell their hospital institutions to begin providing gender-affirming care to young people again. ACLU's Chase Strangio rejoiced in a statement on Instagram saying, quote, today, a federal district court in New York blocked the Trump administration from demanding the identifying and sensitive health information of trans patients who receive gender-affirming medical care as minors from NYC healthcare institutions. The court recognized these demands as a part of a broader campaign to target trans people and in access to gender-affirming medical care, end quote. He concluded with a promise. We will keep fighting to defend our people. Judge Fila concluded after hearing oral arguments that, quote, the subpoena expressly targeting members of a particular and uniquely vulnerable group both shocks the conscience and rises to the levels of the most egregious official conduct, end quote. Ooh, I like that. Come on. Rises to the level of the most egregious official conduct. That's what we need our leaders to be saying. Because it is. That's exactly what's happening. The block is temporary as Judge Fila searches for a long-term solution. But I believe she will. And when she does, it's going to set another precedent for what can happen in other states. Family, we love when Trump loses, okay? And he's losing. He is losing, which means we winning, okay? Don't forget that. Now, let's take a quick break. And when we get back, let's get into some culture and entertainment. Stay close. Do you have a local news story not getting enough amplification? A queer organization other folks should know? A song coming out? Send us a voicemail to our Queer News tip line so you can get all the amplification you need. Info on how to submit is in the show notes.
Hey family, my name is Simba, pronouns they, them, also known as Mr. Gentle, a drag king artist in Chicago. I am co-producing, co-hosting, and directing in the first iteration of a COVID-safe drag and burlesque show on the south side of Chicago on Thursday, July 9th at 7 p.m. at Definition Theater. We are the Gentle Thems Lounge, and this show centers BIPOC, genderqueer, and disabled performing folks in drag and burlesque. The show is mask required, the venue is first floor wheelchair accessible, and all performers will be PCR tested prior to performing. Tickets are $20 for in-person, and this show will also be live streamed by Parallel Play, so virtual tickets are available for $15. So whether you can make it in person or you're out of state, if you want to see drag that centers BIPOC, genderqueer, and disabled and trans folks, this show is for you. You don't want to miss our phenomenal cast, and if you love Sinners as much as we do, you don't want to miss our finale act either. Follow our Instagram at the Gentle Thems Lounge for updates, and you can get your tickets at thegentlethemslounge.thundertix.com. The link for your tickets is in the Instagram bio. Hope to see you there.
Have you subscribed to the newsletter yet? We are on Substack now. What are you waiting for? queernewspod.substack.com. queernewspod.substack.com. Visit, put your email address in, then hit upgrade. Go $5 a month to really help us sustain this work. Family, we all we got. Welcome back to the show, family. Now, let's get into some culture and entertainment. Here in Chicago, in our Andersonville neighborhood, they did something pretty special. They broke ground on a plaza honoring a local Black trans activist and icon, Elise Malary. Elise was a friend. She was a supporter of this work. She attended our Purple Tie Affair all the time, wanted to support the work all the time. I still can't believe she's not here with us anymore. I still can't believe that. And if you've been listening to this show for longer than 3 years, then you know the stories we were sharing about Elise when the community was looking for her. Now, the Elise Malary Pedestrian Plaza, I love it, will be a car-free plaza at the cross streets of Clark and Ashland. The city held a groundbreaking ceremony to start the construction of the project. Chicagoans, of course, you probably are more familiar with Elise's story by now, but let me just remind y'all, she was a longtime trans activist who assisted with the creation of the Chicago Therapy Collective and her major project, Hire Trans Now, a movement to get more of our trans siblings employed, which would further their economic sustainability here in the city. Now, in the location where the plaza is being built, it was where the Andersonville Farmers Market would take place. Organizers of the market have expressed great interest in relocating back to the plaza upon the completion of the project. The 40th Ward hopes that the Elise Malary Pedestrian Plaza will, quote, create a sense of place, support, and enhance the Andersonville community identity, improve walkability, traffic, and pedestrian safety, not to mention economic development and improve public infrastructure. The renderings are absolutely beautiful. The benches, the walkway, the greenery, and they had the community vote on what they wanted, the types of furniture. I mean, this has been community led by the people of Andersonville. And I think that that is absolutely beautiful. Not to mention another way to honor the legacy of Elise. It's also being built where they renamed the street after Elise. Family, I wish Elise was still here. But since she isn't, this is a beautiful way to ensure that nobody ever forgets her name. We'll, of course, continue to follow this story because I want to be there when they open it. Huh? We got to be there for the moment. In sports, the San Francisco Giants Pride Night is in hot water with Major League Baseball due to 3 players staging their own protest of pride. Starting pitcher Landon, relievers JT and Ryan, they scribbled Bible verses on their Pride Night caps that were a part of the team's attire for the special night. Reliever Sam went against the uniform by wearing a different colored Giants cap. A similar event happened during the Dodgers Pride Night last year, where pitcher Clayton Kershaw also wrote Bible verses on his baseball cap. The verse on one of the caps was Genesis 9:12-16, which reads, quote, "And God said, this is the sign of the covenant I am making between me and you and every living creature with you, a covenant for all generations to come. I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be a sign of the covenant between me and the earth. Whenever I bring clouds over the earth and the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant between me and you and all living creatures of every kind. Never again will the waters become a flood to destroy all life. Whenever the rainbows appear in the clouds, I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and all living creatures of every kind on the earth." Child, the book of Genesis is popular amongst those who oppose gay rights for all the reasons, not just that particular scripture. Now, that pitcher defended his actions to reporters after the game, saying that the verse he chose is, quote, "just about God's covenant and a promise that he makes to us that, his faithfulness and his mercy. That's just kind of something I believe in, and I stand firm in that. And I'm thankful we live in a country where, we have a freedom to believe what we want and express what we want," end quote. Major League Baseball issued a verbal warning to the team in a statement. And the statement said, "To be clear, this routine verbal warning not to wear the hat in future games is not disciplinary and had absolutely nothing to do with the content of the message. We respect players' right to free expression. However, writing of any kind with any message is prohibited per Major League Baseball's uniform regulations, which provides in that part, player may not write, attach, affix, embroider, or otherwise display nicknames or messages on apparel or playing equipment," end quote. Oh, goodness. That angered many high-up Christians, who claimed that the league was unfairly chastising the 4 Giants players who protested. Major League Baseball Chief Communications Officer Pat Courtney addressed the rising anger, saying, quote, "The writing on the cap violates our rules and consistent with normal practice. We have warned the players about future violations." Now, the commissioner defended Major League Baseball upholding their uniform policy in a letter, and he said, quote, "By warning the Giants players that they may not include Bible verses on their caps in the future, Major League Baseball was not discriminating or chastising those players based on their religious beliefs. Rather, Major League Baseball was enforcing, with only an oral warning, a long-standing, collectively bargained rule that keeps uniforms clean and avoids controversy. The rule has been similarly applied to a variety of messages, some as innocuous as messages to a player's mother or honoring a deceased friend." And I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion on this situation or not. I'm not bothered by them writing these Bible verses. Get the oral verbal warning because it's against the violations. That's cool. But I'd rather know who's against me. I'd rather know who is for me because I don't want to buy your jersey. I don't want to support you in any other way. And this lets me know exactly where you stand. That's just my take. For our last story today, it's about the BET Awards that took place on Sunday night. And this year, there were 5 out queer artists who showed up and showed out, with their live performances. Now, it's being reported this is the most out queer artist to ever perform at the BET Awards, and that might just be true, Doechii and SZA did their thing celebrating Lauryn Hill with a duet of Ready or Not. In addition, Doechii won the BET Her Award for her single Girl Get Up featuring SZA. And the queen herself showed up, okay, looking fabulous, okay, returning to BET's stage and also in celebration of Lauryn Hill with a performance of Lost Ones. Now, one of our faves, Kehlani, brought some R&B to the BET Awards by performing Folded, which shot up the charts this year and stayed there. She was accompanied by Jamie Foxx and his daughter Annalise Bishop, who both played live alongside Kehlani. A moment worth reliving, so go watch it if you haven't seen it, okay? Now, she also took home the BET Awards for Video of the Year and Best Female R&B Pop Artist because Folded was on everybody's, okay, playlist this past year. Then, fresh off the debut of a new album with a world tour announcement with Kehlani, Duran Bernard performed Shit Damn Mother as a tribute to the late D'Angelo. Duran was also nominated for Best Male R&B Pop Artist. Had a chance to see him just last week at Pride Fest, and he did not disappoint. The artist Quan also performed at the BET Awards on a side stage. Quan is a, quote, self-proclaimed girl who likes girls. Quan's debut EP, With All Due Respect, is exactly what it sounds like, an ode to Black queer women and a love letter to R&B. She has been quietly building one of the most distinctive sounds in the genre and in the game, earning co-signs from Kehlani and Ty Dolla $ign along the way. We want to say congratulations, okay, to all of the Black queer performers and to all the BET Award winners, because it's a big deal to win one of those BET Awards. Now it's time for Anna's Got a Word, because Anna's always got a word. And today, I'm actually going to give the word over to Shannon Lynn Parker, the CEO of Equality Illinois. At that breakfast where the governor signed those 3 bills, she also gave a statement. And I just want to give this microphone over to her in this moment because she reminds us why we ought to be celebrating and also acknowledges the privilege we have of being able to celebrate in a state like Illinois. I want y'all to take a listen, and I want y'all to have an amazing week, okay? Till next time, peace.
What a privilege it is to be in this room amongst friends, amongst supporters, amongst allies, but I want y'all to keep this in mind too, that not every one of us has access to pride. Access to pride depends on what state you live in, what county, what block, right? So I want y'all to remember as you go out and you celebrate today, as you're out proud with beautiful selves, that the fight continues. And that we continue to wave this banner and do this work and pass this legislation, and Equality Illinois continues to stay on the ground to ensure that everybody is free in Illinois.
If you've enjoyed what you heard, rate and review us inside your favorite podcasting app. This podcast is written and produced by me, Anna Deshawn. Podcast editing by Ryan Woodhall. And brought to you by E3 Radio and distributed on The Cube. We are Queer News Done Right.